Welcome to Release to Results, the A Course in Miracles workbook series. This is lesson 140. Only salvation can be said to cure. And this lesson's talking about how these attempts to do what will make the body better and where we're thinking the mind and the body are what we are, and that somehow that's constrained by that. And what's really going to make things better, what's really going to cure us, what's really going to be a long-term solution rather than repeated attempts to solve repeated problems that don't exist. Now, none of this is intended to make wrong of or suggest that you do something other than what the world believes must be done when it comes to disease or pain or suffering. It's just an option for you to look at. Go ahead, do the things that seem to be apparent for you to do in your healing process, and whether it's physical, doctor, medicines, tarot cards, whatever it is that it seems to be the thing that's gonna be your solution. And are you open to the solution of salvation, of going beyond the dream, waking up, and discovering what you really are? Only salvation can be said to cure, is what the lesson here says today. And today we're going to attempt to let go of all these interfering thoughts, which in letting go we call resistance to feelings. Allow these feelings up and let them go. In the book Letting Go, The Pathway of Surrender by Dr. David R. Hawkins, he talks about how he experienced letting go of many long-term chronic diseases and a lot of pain and a lot of allergies and so on and so forth, regulation of diet and foods, all through the letting go process, surrendering to God. So does it work? Does it not work? It's not for me to say, for you. Give it a shot. See if it helps you. See if you find benefit, if you find relief, if you wake up from the dream of suffering and the illusion of sickness through letting go, through releasing. Let's begin. Only salvation can be said to cure. Speak to us, Father, that we may be healed. And can you notice anything you're attempting to make the body better? Regulation of diet, medicines, amulets, and charms. And without condemning or making wrong of any of those things, could you just notice all of the thoughts and the frantic attempts to fix a body that maybe isn't well or prevent sickness? And could you simply allow yourself to feel what it feels like to be attempting to make the body better, to put so much weight into the body and its preservation, as if that's what you are? And could you allow that energy to come up? Could you open up and allow up any energy that's coming up for you? Bring it to light. And could you ignore the interfering thoughts? Allow up this energy. And could you release it? Let it go. Would you let it go and allow salvation? When could you let go of the plans for sickness? Only salvation can be said to cure. And is there any resistance to the Holy Spirit, to God, our Father, and salvation as a solution to these seeming myriads of problems with the body and the mind? And it's okay. There generally is quite a bit of resistance to allowing that which is, that which is real, that which is the truth, to make us better, to bring us back to salvation. And so, could you just notice any resistance, any refusal, any denial of our holiness, your holiness, and the miracle that comes from its recognition? Could you simply feel what it feels like to be resisting what comes from holiness? And could you allow that feeling to be there? Bring it to light, ignoring the thoughts that would interfere. Could you just feel and enlighten now, just for now? And could you release that resistance? Would you release it? Enlighten? When could you release and hear the words of your Father? Hear the truth about what you are. And could you take a moment to be with the words of your Father? Releasing any interfering thoughts. Releasing any interfering feeling. And just listening. Speak to us now, Father, that we may be healed in truth. And could you allow the voice of healing, the holiness you are? A very different voice from what so often clutters the mind in attempts to make the body better with what the world perceives as therapeutic. Seeing no separation from the body and the mind. There's this belief that the mind exists in the body, and that's okay. And can you just notice any interference from the Holy Spirit that would dwell on sickness in many forms? Sickness financially, sickness relationally, sickness with the body, and all the thoughts that go with what to do about it, how to solve it, all the reinforcement of separation from your Father. And could you simply allow anything that's coming up just for a moment and feel what that feels like behind all those thoughts? And could you let that feeling flow just for a moment? Let that feeling do what it does. And could you surrender this feeling and all the thoughts that go with it to God? Would you surrender if you could? You never have to. When could you surrender and have salvation? Salvation which comes and is, and always was, and always will be. Perfect as you were created by perfection. And this perfection guarantees your healing, your wellness, your happiness. And can you notice any resisting the perfection that is, that you are, that you were created from? All the planning for problems and what to do about them, to protect a separate self and maintain a separate identity, an illusion. And could you notice how that feels to be resisting the perfection and the holiness that you are and were created by? It's okay. Any resistance that comes up, just allowing it up rather than pushing it away, denying it, stuffing it. Could you just notice how that feels rather than stacking guilt or condemnation upon a mere error in perception? And could you let this energy come up? Allow it, shine light upon it, just for now. And could you let go of the illusion, the resistance, that feeling? Would you let go of resisting the holiness and perfection that you are and were created by? When could you let go of resisting that which you are and have today your day of healing? Only salvation can be said to cure. Speak to us, Father, that we may be healed. And could you allow your Father to speak to you, the Holy Spirit to speak to you, the truth to speak to you, to heal you, to cure you? Releasing the interfering thoughts, laying them aside. Could you open to what you are and hear its voice? Could you listen in stillness, in silence, to the truth? Could you allow the voice of God, the voice of truth, the voice of what you truly are, to speak, to heal? Could you allow salvation? This is your day of healing today. Releasing all illusions, being the truth of what you are, and giving that to the world and guiding your brothers in the truth, in the power, in the holiness, to salvation. Well done releasing, and enjoy salvation and the cure this day.